There is so much research about cognitive behavioral improvement linked to meditation. They've actually studied the brains of monks who've meditated for years and seeing how, decreased cognitive decline, rates of lowering depression, anxiety, overcoming, traumatic events, helping people in general. Just, it's not just emotional well-being, but I will say there's a lot of study around that, and also just improving your overall brain function.
Tuned in to the Money Script podcast. Today we will share strategies to help you grow your financial literacy and improve your money script. I'll be back with some important announcements. Until then, enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Money Script podcast. It's your host, Johannes Harrison. So happy to be with each and every one of you, and I've missed you all. It has been it's been about a month, maybe a little bit longer. I think it's been 6 weeks. So the last time you heard from me, I was on my way to get my thyroid removed, which was removed successfully. I don't know if I revealed that all of that on the last podcast, but that is what happened. I had a thyroidectomy, and I'll tell you that story another day. But yeah, so thyroid is gone. Taking my fake thyroid hormone pill every day. And so far, so good. All the crazy symptoms I had were gone, and I'm back to recording podcasts. And I am here today with one of my favorite people on the planet, Christy Walker. Hi, Christy. How are you?
I'm doing well, Johannes. It's so nice to be here.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So Christy, well, I say one of my favorite people on the planet because she specializes in something that I hold very near and dear to my heart, and that is meditation. And if you are driving, you may want to skip over the meditation because we're going to do a little one later. But I mean, just don't drive and meditate. I cannot say that you should drive and meditate. However, Christy, I was with I went to one of those, what is it called? The not the Taj Mahal, but what are those big cathedrals called? The Buddhists that they, and the monks.
I'm at a loss for a moment here. Well, like a temple.
A temple, yes. So, okay, I went to a temple. So I went to the temple. There's a new temple in New Jersey. I think they said it's like the largest one outside of Asia is now here in New Jersey. So another friend had took me when I happened to be up in the area. And so I got to speak with a monk for the first time. I've never talked to anyone I've seen them, but I've never talked to them. So I had a conversation. And one of the questions I asked him, which now looking back seemed like a silly question, but I said, what is the longest you've ever meditated? And because that was something that I was trying to figure out. I was like, how can I, go from meditating for 5 minutes to go to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or what would it look like to do like a 30-minute meditation? And he revealed to me that the secret to meditation is being able to maintain a state of meditation at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
so what he encouraged me to do as we were walking around the temple, because they have beautiful art and architecture, he said, as you're walking, you can meditate. And I never imagined that I could actually be moving my body and meditating at the same time. So I tried it out. I don't know how well I did, but I made it through it. I didn't trip and fall. I had to keep my eyes open. But I was still trying to seek that meditative state while doing something else. So if it's your first time, I wouldn't encourage you to try to meditate while driving. Keep your eyes on the road. I know a lot of your listeners listen to while they're driving. And if it's your first time listening, this is the Money Script podcast. I am a financial advisor. I've been helping clients for over 20 years make better decisions with their money and find ways to get their values and their goals and their financial behaviors in alignment. I bring this podcast to you just so you can get a little dose of financial literacy and learn ways to improve your financial life in many different ways. So with that, let's get back to you, Christy. So again, welcome to the show. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you got into the business of helping people with meditating? I believe you do yoga as well, and some other things. So tell us a little bit about how you started that business.
Yeah. So My name is Christy Walker, and I actually started with meditation. I'll kind of describe, I didn't realize the word I was meditating, but mindfulness, um, being aware, consciousness of my own thoughts, what I was feeling, sensing, probably from, I would say, my early 20s, even just from like journaling practices. But actual formal meditation really came honestly when I started attending yoga, because a lot of yoga practitioners, the one I first went to, had, these loving kindness meditation experiences that I was going into class, didn't really understand what was happening, but I had this real sense of awe and wonder and peace. And I would say that's probably like my first real understanding of whatever this, there's this taboo sometimes around the word meditation, especially with some of us who've grown up in a more, type of formal religious setting. Depends on your background. But I would say, yeah, yoga was probably that first time I experienced it. The connection to the breath, focusing, using the breath as a way to draw awareness back into the present moment.
So and when you said it started in yoga, so are you speaking of, 'cause I've taken yoga before, when, at the end or beginning at some point in yoga where you just are to be still and focus in on the breath, and what is the pose called?
Yeah.
Savasana
So,
something?
yeah, Shavasana. Yeah, the
Yeah,
corpse
that
pose.
one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's basically the pose where at the end you're integrating what has just happened. And, I will say, I don't even think I realized, again, some people get so, and I would say maybe I would too be a little intimidated by the word, but it was my first understanding of really you're awake, you're not asleep, but you are just present and in this very tranquil state of stillness, conscious observing. And that would, yeah, I think yoga was probably part of it. And then from there, I've gone on. I actually about 2 years ago started formally practicing teaching yoga, and was really interested to realize in the yoga I practice that movement was really only a very, very small portion of what yoga is. So, of course, meditation is, there's many different philosophies and practices, but the one that I was practicing was coming from mostly Patanjali Yoga Sutra teaching, and understanding that really that's the medicine of the practice, learning to get silent, get quiet, and all the principles that we have to embody and come into awareness in order to really become that true conscious observer, coming back into connection with our own power source within.
So can you share with our listeners that may be new to meditation or yoga? I know there's a lot of research out there about the benefits, but can you share some of the key benefits that you found, not only personally but also with some of your clients and with your experience with learning how to be an instructor?
Mhm. Yeah. So, I will say that personally, having dealt with a lot of, my own trauma just from, and having gone through like formal counseling and different methods of teachings, I was very curious about the power of, this practice, and realizing it's not a religion. It is not. It's just it is a practice that it can be done in any and outside of, let's just say, a quote religious connection. And for me, Johannes, I mean, I had such a strong like background upbringing. Even there was this whole taboo I said around like meditating. And it's almost like you're seeing yourself as a god. Like I knew I had friends who practiced Buddhism, and I have friends now that practice, and I absolutely I love and kind of more embody all of these practices and beliefs now. But my own, and I'm hoping I'm answering this correctly, the way I kind of came into it was, for me, realizing the power of it, that it felt like this mind, this crazy busy mind in the society that we live in that is really captivated by the busyness, almost like becoming masked task masters. Like, how many things can you do? There's not a lot of space or talk, I think, about how much we need these spaces for ourselves to be able to quiet down, to go within, to still the mind, to truly tap into like the actual power that is fueling everything else in our life. So there's a lot of research out there now, even with people who have, in fact, there's a book, and I'll have to include in the show notes, Siddhartha's Brain. And actually, one of the physicians I worked with had recommended this book. There is so much research about cognitive behavioral improvement linked to meditation. They've actually studied the brains of monks who've meditated for years and seeing how, decreased cognitive decline, rates of lowering depression, anxiety, overcoming, traumatic events, helping people in general, just, it's not just emotional well-being, but I will say there's a lot of study around that, and also just improving your overall brain function. And there's a lot of organizations now that are, sending their employees off to these wellness weekends, meditation weekends.
Yes, we are.
I mean, there's a lot of curiosity about how much power there is, and being able to pull people together, give space, create space to slow down, and honestly tap back into like how truly powerful we each are. And it really is, you are, and I love this thought, and I recently heard it, you're not a problem to be fixed. It's almost having a place of self-inquiry, going within, seeing that we each truly, we hold so many of the answers within. So again, that is kind of, I would say, part of the meditation, slowing the mind down and getting quiet to access all of these benefits that are already there within.
So if it's your first time on listening to the show, maybe you came here because Christy sent you here, but maybe you just stumbled across the show and you're like, oh, the Money Script podcast, what's that all about? And for the last 10 minutes, we've been talking about meditation. So maybe you're asking, what does it have to do with my money? Well, Christy was actually describing, it has a lot to do with your brain and the relationship you have with your thoughts. Think about how many times you make unconscious financial decisions, whether it be that trip to Starbucks, or it be that Amazon click to buy, or as Christy was talking about, the how we get caught up in all the multitasking, the pings that we get, and the alerts and the likes and the loves. And by the way, do like the show and share it with others. But we get caught up in that sometimes, and we need to take the time just to pause and to look within and practice some gratitude, practice some breathing. And again, like Christy was saying, understanding that you are not a problem to be fixed. I share with clients all the time, you are not your bank account. You are not your retirement plan. You are not your income. All of things are products of things that you've done or that you're doing. And a lot of us, when it comes to financial decisions, this is something that we study in behavioral financial advice, is we learn how to go about problem solving for the things that are coming to us by having a freeze moment, by freezing and pausing and saying, okay, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? Especially when we're being faced by financial excitement or turmoil. You get that you open up your 401k statement or whatever, investment statement you have, and you haven't been paying attention to the markets, but you open it up and you just see, or you go on log in and you just see red, and you see a minus sign and it's down. And immediately, I know it happens. You get that pit feeling in your stomach drops. It's like, oh no, I've lost money. But in actuality, maybe you just went down that day. It doesn't necessarily mean you've lost money. I mean, yeah, could you dig into it and possibly could you find out that maybe there is some money that's no longer there anymore? But no, that's just how the market performed that day. And a lot of times people will make drastic decisions just based on, or impulsive decisions just based on that reaction to something that just happened, when In actuality, you probably just need to think about, okay, well, again, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? Well, okay, I'm feeling scared because my account's down by 15%. Okay. What am I thinking? Maybe I'm not going to be able to retire on time. Okay, well, now what are you doing? Well, I mean, if you're still actively contributing to your retirement account, if you're still working and you still have time, that little bit of loss may not matter. Now, maybe you do need to think about your risk tolerance and what you're willing to do, but this time to reflect and look within can help keep you from making impulsive decisions. So I love meditating. I meditate. I try to meditate every day. I'm probably about 4 out of 7 on a good week. And I used the app. Well, my brain is not working today. Headspace. There we go. I use Headspace. Maybe I need to meditate. I haven't meditated today. Well, Christy, you're here. We'll fix that. But I use Headspace. So it likes to give me gentle reminders to say, basically, have you meditated today? But I can admit from practice, meditation has dramatically improved my relationship with myself, my ability to make decisions. And I'm not only a boss and a financial advisor for hundreds of clients and a husband and a brother and an uncle. I'm a lot of things to a lot of people, but sometimes I just have to be me, for myself. And that meditation gives me that time to do that so that I can show up better for other folks. And also, as I mentioned, this whole thyroid thing I was going through, before I knew it was my thyroid, I just thought I was getting too stressed out. And you know what I was doing? A lot more meditating. And that was helping with some of the anxiety I was feeling and things of that nature because of the hormonal imbalance that I was experiencing. I was trying to fight it with meditation because I was like, oh, maybe it's all in my head. But then I realized, oh, wait, no, there's another problem. Let's fix that. And then things got a lot better. But meditation is something that and yoga, and because Alicia is also a yoga instructor. A lot of you listeners are aware of that. I found that that how do you say again? Savasana?
Yeah.
Savasana. There we go. That one. That's like one of my favorite parts of yoga because I just love just being flat and just laying there, and and I don't fall asleep, but I get into this little space of just euphoria, and it's like, oh, it just feels so good. I'm not thinking about the time, not thinking about what I have to do next. All I'm thinking about is my next breath in and out, and just being present and feeling I like to, when I'm doing that, I like to pretend that I'm holding the world on my back, because I'm just laying on my back. So the whole world is just, and that's the strength I have, dude. Let me just support the world for a second right here with the other 15 people in the room. We're just going to hold the world up for a second and make sure it keeps spinning and flying through space just for a moment. And it's very peaceful. I appreciate it. I do. So Christy, I would like, and this is something, by the way, Chris, this isn't Christy and I's first time having a conversation. She has actually come into the Money Script Wealth, into our firm, and provided yoga for our employees. So we'll get together for our team meetings and we'll ask her to come in and actually provide, I said yoga, excuse me. You can do that too, Christy, soon. Meditation for our employees. When we do our next retreat in California, we'll work that out.
I love it.
But providing meditation for all of us so we can take a moment in our busy days from helping clients, et cetera, just take a moment for ourselves. And we did it the first time, and all of our employees said, we have to do that again. Can we do that again? Can we do it again? It's like, oh, you were actually looking forward to that moment. And I'll admit, the first time I was like, I don't know if everyone's going to appreciate this as much as I do. And it turns out that they did.
That's great.
So with that, with some of the time that we have, I'd love if you could guide us through a short meditation.
Sure. Well, why don't we just drop right in right now? And for anyone here, if you are driving, I would encourage you just to come back to this. And when you have a moment this evening, this is really a powerful meditation I like to use, and it's a grounding meditation. So if you find yourself busy mind, going, this is something you can do at the beginning of the day or at the end, even right before you're going to bed. So just bringing yourself, if you're in a chair, preferably seated, allowing yourself to notice your feet on the surface beneath you, maybe taking off your shoes if you have shoes on. If you do, that's fine. Leaving the shoes on is fine. So just for a moment, lifting your toes and just placing each toe gently down onto the surface beneath you, allowing your palms to rest on the knees, hands, they're down for grounding. And just for a moment, just allowing yourself to come into a relaxed and easeful state as much as possible. Being present here, just with the connection of the soles of your feet connecting to the earth's surface beneath you. Your eyes that can remain open or slightly half open or closed, holding your awareness to how your feet feel on the ground. Now, while keeping that soft awareness of this connection, begin to notice the breath, traveling in through the nose, and just seeing if you can pull your breath down into the belly. And exhale, tracing the breath all the way back outside the body. Just staying here for a few more rounds of breath. With every inhale, noticing the rise of the belly, pushing your belly out. And on the exhale, see if you can draw the belly into the lower spine. Coming into this place of conscious observation, allowing the breath to be your anchor, pulling you deeper just into this present moment. Letting distracting thoughts melt away as your breath, this vital life force, coursing through the body, drawing you deeper into the present moment. And now on your next breath in, allowing the belly to rise, filling up the belly. And on the exhale, slowly releasing, seeing if you can link your exhale to a slightly longer than the inhale. So extending your exhale out, emptying out the breath. And when you come to your next inhale, begin to visualize a golden light at the top of the head, the crown of the head. See if you can pull this light down through the entire surface of the body, to the soles of the feet. And on your exhale, leaving the light where it is, releasing slightly longer exhale. When you come to that next inhale, filling up the belly, allowing this light to illuminate the entire surface of the body. on the exhale, just releasing slowly, exhaling all the way out, allowing the eyes to gently open, coming back into this moment. Just taking a moment here for yourself. Anytime we do these practices, giving yourself a time maybe to reflect. There is nothing to fix or do. Just coming back into conscious observation of yourself. When you're ready, finishing out your practice. And taking a moment of silence to digest. Being willing to step away to discover deeper spaces of connectedness within yourself. Feeling lighter, sense of groundedness, of love, self-compassion, gratitude. You may take this with you through the rest of your day.
I feel amazing. That was good.
Thank you. It was an honor.
That was incredible. That was incredible.
Thank you.
So this is one of those episodes, you just flag it, come back to it whenever you want. We started around minute 19. We'll let you know in the show notes where it starts. You can just come back and grab this when you need a moment. When the kids are done yelling, or your boss has finished telling you what to do, or you've been in traffic all day, or whatever it is, you just need to take that moment to ground yourself. Here you are. Thank you so much, Christy. So you mentioned something in the meditation. You were talking about illumination, which reminds me of the name of your company, Illume Evolve. Can you tell us a little bit about why, or your company itself of Illume Evolve, and some of the things that you have, exciting things that you have happening later this year?
Yes, would love to. You know, the name, I honestly wanted a kind of a different name. And I had thought of, this is a few years back, evolution, that we are all evolving throughout this entire experience here on this in this lifetime, and illuminate the light, illuminating this sense of empowerment. We are light sources. So Illume Evolve kind of combined, under that spirit, as a name that was inspired out of light source, light being, that we were all evolving. And there you go. The company itself, to me, was founded with a mission to serve and to support people who are journeying, looking and seeking to reach their highest potential through using practices of mindfulness such as yoga, Reiki, and meditation. And also I have, within this company, decided to really work with other practitioners who work in the healing arts to promote their work, and also to host events, retreats around these experiences. So my passion really lies in helping, both men and women to feel empowered, to live from a place, I'm going to say the words, deservingness and fulfillment.
Yes.
And I do think these practices are just like salve, potent medicine They're ancient practices that are available for anyone. And so, yeah, that's what's happening now. And I am living right now in Los Angeles area and offering small group meditation, one-on-one, like day retreats that I'll kind of combine these together, yoga, Reiki, and finishing out with meditation. I have a retreat coming up in Joshua Tree with Ramsey Mead, his property, Camp Vortex, and it's a luxury retreat in the high desert. It will be both men and women, very small group, to help people come into the space, disconnect, digital detox, to integrate all these practices and do your own inner work. It's like a weekend retreat. So that's what's happening right now. And also I'm doing some weekends, almost every weekend, I do a virtual meditation that's free for people to log in if they just want to be a part of a community, to experience, some of these practices. And
if people want to learn more, where can they find some more information besides in the show notes? For those that are just listening, where can they?
So, I do have my Instagram, I post a lot there, Evolution W Christy, and also Illum Meditate website. And if you're interested to kind of know a little bit about me, I have done a podcast series, an 8 series, You Are the Medicine, The Journey Inward, that is interviewing people talking about these practices. So that's also included. Yeah, I would love, if you're looking, I'm going to be offering distance Reiki as well, for anyone who is looking for a Reiki experience, and would love, anyone who wants to know more, reach out.
Beautiful. Well, Christy, thank you so much for sharing your love and your light with us here on the Money Script podcast. For those of you who have been longtime listeners, you know that Alicia also has offered a money mantras meditation. I think that's back in season 2. It is the highest listened podcast that we have. And she likes to tease me about that. But I tell her I can combine all of my episodes and have as many listens as she does. But she loves to champion that. But what that tells me that people are looking for ways to ground themselves and to get their mind more in alignment, their actions more in alignment with their mind and heart's desire. So again, Christy, thank you for spending some time on the Money Script podcast. Again, for those of you, if this is your first time, make sure you go back and, binge listen to all of the other episodes. Please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. This is really just about helping people get more in touch with their own financial literacy journey and improve the decisions that they're making with money. And of course, if you want to learn more about what I do and how we do it, moneyscript.com, you can learn a lot there. And just like I said, tune in. We do have some very exciting things coming up over the next 90 days. Like I said, I did have to take a short break, but I'm back. My voice is still here. I sound the same. So we've got at least 10 other episodes that are already in the books for the next couple of months. We also have a new education series that's going to be starting up really soon, where we're going to have just some of the basics. There's a lot of clients ask questions about, Roth IRA, a backdoor Roth IRA, and some of the other fun stuff, where I'm actually going to get on my computer and kind of show you all how this stuff works. So it'll be a little bit more actionable steps on what you can take to learn more, figuring out your pre-tax versus Roth IRA, 401k, all that fun stuff. So that's coming up in the next 90 days. I look forward to it. And other than that, we will see you next time here on the Money Script podcast. Y'all take care and take a moment for yourself, or 5. See you soon.
I'm back. Wasn't that a great show? I hope you learned something. I know I did. Now, before you go trying anything you heard today, remember, it is not intended to be specific tax or legal advice. If you need that, go see a CPA or an attorney. If you would like any complimentary consultation with a knowledgeable advisor, visit moneyscript.com and schedule a 15-minute consultation. Want Johans to come speak at your next event? Go to the Money Script website for that too. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. MoneyScript Wealth Management is a registered financial advisory service in multiple states. Want to learn more? Get the full disclosure on our website, moneyscript.com.